Hello, guys. Welcome to Academic Solutions online study program in partnership with Civic Colleges. And together we are making it easier with Level Up. Welcome to Grade 10 Life Sciences. Today we are looking at biodiversity and classification, zooming into biodiversity. Okay, as I've mentioned in the other lesson, when we speak of biodiversity, we are looking at the variety of the environment, different animals, different plants, the interactions between them, and then we have biodiversity. Remember, bio means life, diversity means the difference. So we are looking at the different forms of life. So having a number of species in a given area is called species diversity. And genetic diversity is when you have a range of different genetic species in genes in one species, I mean to say. And the ecological diversity is when there is different ecosystem in the same environment. Okay, let's zoom in more into details in these three type of diversities that I've mentioned. Okay, firstly and foremost, when we speak of species, this is a group of animals with similarities, and then they can interbreed and give off offsprings, and then continue to breed. So those are species animals that appear to be the same. They can mate or caught and produce babies or offsprings, and then continue interbreeding. So we've got species diversity, okay, genetic diversity, as well as ecological diversity. Difference in animals, difference in genes, as well as differences in the environment. So, species diversity is a vast number of species living on Earth. These are the organisms that can interbreed and produce offsprings. Species shares genes for common features. So when we speak of species diversity, we are generally looking at species that we have all over around the world, the different species, goat species, sheep species, cattle species, lion species, buffalo species, and so on. They can interbreed and reproduce further. So this is an example of species diversity. You have your cat, you have your cheetah, your leopard, etc. This is a cat family. So this is an example of species diversity. And then we have genetic diversity, which is the variation of genes with one species. So the characteristics of an organism are carried in the genes, the chromosomes, which are then passed on to the offspring, allowing them to adapt to the changing environment. And then this is an example of genetic diversity. As you can see that this is pepper, but you see different shapes, different colors, which means it's still the same plant, it's pepper, but different in terms of genes. It doesn't look the same simply because it had to be adapted to live or to grow in different environment under different conditions. In that way, we had this variation due to genes. And then there is ecological diversity, which is the variety of ecosystems in a geological area, in a particular area. And then the ecosystem is named according to the landscape and the climate of that area. So before we can say we have an ecosystem, it we look at the landscape as well as the weather pattern of the environment. So it determines the different ecosystems. And then you may find that a same species has adapted and slightly became different to what it was initially as it when it left a particular area in order to adapt to that new environment. So you have a slight different as it adapts to a new ecosystem. This is the same animal, but it is now different in a different in a new ecosystem or environment. It has adapted to it, and then it's changed the color in order to adapt to that environment. Okay, let's leave it here for today. Until next time, guys, thank you for your time.